Hmm.
Just in case anyone is still watching? I don't think so. No. So I'm trying the new HTTP resource here. I've got a variant here that takes the input from this input and just loads it by just changing the signal in the URL. But I need to do a lot of code to actually make sure it doesn't disappear when I delete this value. Something's not right with my... Hmm. Might be a bit small, yeah? So it loads and it leaves it, right? But if I do it in a simple way, then every time I remove the value here because I want to type something else, the resource doesn't actually trigger, but it also removes the value. Right? So that's a bit crappy. I need to zoom a bit less because I can't see anything anymore. So in order to do that and not have it disappear, I'm using a linked signal now as the request ID. Which is this request ID. And then the ID is just a model in here. How do I make this a good? I don't know anymore what not input maybe. Does that make it nicer? It's been a while since I played with material. No, it doesn't do anything. What? That was weird. Okay. So the real question is, if you really want to start using HTTP resource instead of, having HTTP get as an observable, then how do you debounce a signal model input? Not sure. But I wanted to try something else. I can't remember what. Just gonna install prettier because, you know, I like prettier. Yeah, thank you. Okay, but at least I'm on Angular 20. Yay! And the first thing that you notice is the naming is different. So it's now just called app.ts and the class is just called app and no more app components. This is going to take some getting used to, but that's okay. This is still old code. I copied it from my NX monorepo Angular, so that's why this is still called home components. Let me see, optimize those imports. Right. So step 1. Yeah, so basically what's happening, if I look at the step 1 example, I enter something here that will trigger the signal in the HTTP resource, which will fetch this result. But if I remove this, my guess is that this model signal will be probably an empty string, which will make the URL for the HTTP resource undefined, which is cool because then it doesn't trigger, but it also doesn't keep the previous value. So every time I just want to be able to delete the number here, but I want to keep the result. So how am I going to do that? So I solved that in home. I could just remove it and the result will be there. The latest result will just stay there. And I can't remember how I did this. Let's see. Source if not new value, return previous value. Right. So basically I'm using a linked signal and the advantage of having access to the previous value. So if the new value is empty, which is the same as, you know, removing that number, then it will just return the previous value, so nothing will happen. But this seems like a lot of code to get this done. I'd prefer a debounce. Well, debounce is actually another issue, because if I type 10 here, and you look at the network, it will actually do 2 requests, one for 1 and one for 10, because I can't debounce. So, is it already possible to debounce a model? I don't think so. Are there any options in here? Doesn't look like it. Something like this would be cool, right? I don't know. But yeah, there are obviously has been talks about this, and debouncing a signal isn't really a pure thing to do, which I understand. And there are some solutions, probably also using a linked signal or whatever. I think Manfred Steyer did a solution to do debounce an input or a signal, any signal. But I'm looking for reasons to start using signals, and especially the HTTP resource or the resource, over using um, just the old fashioned HTTP GET. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have a little break. I don't even know how to. No. How do I kill my volume of my mic? Ah well, never mind. I'll be back. Yay, I'm back. No idea if there's still people here. Okay. Um. Yeah. So as I was saying in the chat, what I'm trying to fix is so you have this input here, which is a model, the new model function. And if you clear it, the result just stays there, right? Also note the lazy one, so you can see another one. It just stays there. But that's not the normal behavior. So if I go to step 1, there's no linked signal here, just a model signal. So if I type 2, the result is there, but then when I remove it, the result is gone. So the HTTP resource value actually emits, even if you give it an undefined URL. It just clears the value. It doesn't keep the value. Kind of makes sense, but yeah, so you need this signal, this linked signal, in order to do that, I guess. Because it's not even that I'm writing to that linked signal, but I couldn't find another way where I could also have access to previous, which is a feature of linked signal. So because I have access to previous, I can just check new value. If it's undefined, then I'll just give it the previous value and it will keep the results. Yay, makes sense, I guess. Right. But I really wanted to try something else. Oh man. What did I want to try? It was a service thing. Let's just create a new service. I'm back to NG. I'm used to NX generating new stuff. NG generate services slash router state. Let's see what this does. Sorry, you can't see this. Services router state. Yeah. So what I wanted to try was something else, which is I have this requirement for a production app I'm working on, which is I always need the correct state of the routing. I actually have some stuff here, I think that, does it still work? Yeah, you can see here step 1. It's something I'm doing in layout, but it's really kind of dodgy. So I need to know more stuff in a service. I don't want this in a component. Just want in any component want to be able to inject the service and get the latest state of the router. Want to have everything, right? So the current top path and all the params, Jesus. Right, so I'm attempting to, but the problem with activated root is that it won't work in a service because that's not a rooted component. So then you need to traverse the router itself, which is a pain. So I just need a simple service or maybe even a function that I can just inject in any component, which will always give me a signal with the current state of the router. Something like that. That was the next thing I wanted to play with. Let me see, router state. I'm not even sure this should be a service, but okay. Let's just try it in a service first. Right, so service, router state. It's cool. It's not called router state service, but just router state. Yay. So what if let's see, router equals inject router. It's been so long since I've worked with the router. I have no idea. Router. Let's start with this. Let's just inject that thing somewhere. Yeah, let's do it here. Yeah. Yeah, let's not. Oh, let's not. Yeah, I need to do it here though. Yeah. Router state equals inject router state. Hey, shite. Router state is also something from the Angular router. That's interesting. Hey. Weird. Okay. So, router. What do we have? Yeah. So yeah, I think router. Let's router dot events dot subscribe events. Okay, that's that whole event stuff. Yeah, the signal store. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, no idea if that um, solves this. I think you're still on the previous subject, but yeah. URL after redirect. But that's just that step. What if you have deeper steps, right? So this just doesn't work in a service, right? Unless no, that won't work. Because here is where you have all your stuff that you really need. This is funny. Let me just try this. So you have the router and you have the activated route. But the problem is that you can see in the component class app, which is not really correct because the root component is step 1, not. Which makes sense. Snapshots. Component is null even. Router state snapshots. URL slash step 1. It's in there, but that's an internal. URL is a behavior subject. What does URL give me? URL build value. That's weird. It's a behavior subject. But it will still give the wrong path anyway. Alright, so the activated route is probably the correct one, but it's in the incorrect scope. Duh. Yeah. Step 2, step 1. Constructor. So if I do it here, Yeah, so then the component is correct. Why does it underscore that? Weird. Data subject. Yeah, that's all. That's what you made, right? Path, step one. Yeah. So the conclusion is service might not be ideal for this. What we really want, let's just call that a functions folder. Call it inject root. .ts, okay. Export function inject root. So we do a root equals inject activated root. Still need the events though. What's on? There's observable there on URL, on data. Bounds. Okay. Let's try this. Not this. This doesn't make sense. But okay, for now. Hmm. For now, okay. I don't know. I'm not sure what I need yet. So, just do root changes. But yeah, I'm doing it again. Ah, okay, for now. Yeah, this is so not what I'm after. This doesn't actually solve anything. This needs to be able to work in a service. Hmm. So, sure, this works. Which is fun. But it doesn't actually give me anything. Hmm. So in layout, I can use this now. Hey, how often does that thing trigger? Only once, though. No, this is a dead end. there's no viewers anymore anyway. Yeah, I need to rethink this. Oops. I did a boo-boo. Okay. Okay, go. Yeah, it's not gonna work. The thing is, I want to have the routing info from anywhere, so also from layouts. But I want to get back step. I can do that, but not with activated route. I can only get router events, which only gives me the URL after redirects. Like what a URL, yeah, like this. That's cool. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to check. Home component. Um, yeah, that's cool. Ah, right. So this is what Michiel Kikkert was talking about, I think. Wow, that's a really bad error. So it will recover though. So I think we're getting the error here because the resource, this second resource, it does a call to, what is it? JSON placeholder, but it only goes to 10, I think, right? So only from 10 you have results, 11 will error. Request failed. So the HTML handles the request. Right, so the HTML actually has it wrapped in a hash value before you read out the value signal. Which surprised me, by the way, is that hash value on the eager resource is not actually a signal. But okay. Where it actually errors now, which I expected when I went from 19 to 20, is here. Will this throw in 20? Well, yes it does. So this should be wrapped, I guess. If this dot lazy resource dot has value, then I can read the value. So now it shouldn't error anymore. Let me just trigger it. 11. It still does. Huh. Why am I using this somewhere else? It's really weird because the error is really, really bad. It doesn't give me a line number or anything. Yikes. Let me see. Is there anything else? I'm reading lazy. Request ID is just request ID. This just sets it once. I guess the error comes from here. If I remove this and I go to 11, yeah, it won't error. Right? No, still error. Why? What the hell is this? Where am I reading lazy resource? Jesus Christ. It's not this one, is it? Eager, oh sorry, this is eager. Shit, I can't. This is going to be really quite scary. What's happening here? Oh my god. You're kidding, right? No fucking way. Yes way. I need to talk to Mr. Riegler. Is loading also throws if it's in an error state? What? Are you sure? Let me wrap this, but I can do that in a single one. That you can't check it. It has value, right? It won't have a value. What? No, it's good. But will it still actually show a loading thing? It will. This is weird. This errors. It will show request failed. I have no field handler for eager. Request failed. I'm getting loads of errors. But it doesn't show me where. Wow. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening here, but I'm not really happy with it. This is really quite bizarre. Is it because I'm still using? No, the effect is gone. It's no longer in an effect. lazy resources. No way, what's happening? I need to have a cleaner example than this. This is not good. I need to make a simpler example. This is shite. I'm gonna use this one. Honestly, not really. But I can. I'm gonna do it in step 2. Constructor as well. Step 2. It's empty. Let's get rid of the crud that we don't need. Let's not lazy load it, just the ID. Step 1, HTML. Let me just do this thing. Okay, whatever you want. Okay, this sucks monkey balls. We're just gonna do it as an eager resource. We're just gonna do it as a resource. Resource is HTTP resource. It's that or that, but we're gonna use users so we can trigger an error. All this shit can go. Resource. Let's just console log this as well. Okay, this can go. The resource. Clear this up a bit. Don't really need that one. Step 2 component. Let's just start with resource.value JSON. Right, okay. Let's just do it simple. Step 2. 1. Okay. It works, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, let's call the thing. Right. Works. 11 doesn't work. Gives me a resource value error. Right. So if I wrap this, what did I do here? resource dot hash value. One. One. Another one. Hard error. But that might be because of this thing. It is. Okay. But let's try this. I know, guys. I'm just gonna do if resource dot value. I'm just gonna say if resource is loading. Loading. Let's slow it down. Oh, this slowed down. Let's remove this. And then we just say if resource error probably still loading because slow network. One. It's not loading. I'm just gonna switch off SSR because it fucks me up now. Let me just commit this, by the way. GitHub, share, not private. Whatever. No, don't fucking analyze. Just commit it. Go. Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of this. I don't want to have this anymore. Okay. One works. One loading works. Whoop, loading error. That's good. Why did I lose focus? Okay, so this works fine. The question is, oh, this should be it, right? click. Oh, loading. Error. That works. But now I'm still flabbergasted that has value is not a signal. But okay. Now I want to have this thing without errors. Now I get a hard error. So how do I resolve this one? Yeah, so I guess that works. Or, so now I get the hard error again, I think. Yep. So I can do a try catch here. This should also work. Yeah. Which sucks, but okay. It is what it is. Oh. But then the error itself, right? So if I don't catch it, then look at the error. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to need to ask Mathieu if that's correct. Download screenshots. Yeah, that's it. Share. No. Open screenshots. Let me just share this thing with my phone because I can't actually post images anymore in Chrome. Cool. Okay. Okay, I'm afraid I'm going to stop with the stream now because I'm tired. but this was useful for me at least. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Maybe next week, Friday again. Bye.